Listen up, man, because I'm about to keep it a buck with y'all like a goddamn dollar store. Expectations of the ego is your soul's greatest enemy. Yes, sir, let me say that again for the people in the back. Listen up, my guy. Expectations that derive from your ego are your soul's, your spirit's greatest enemy. And you might be wondering, okay, man, what the fuck does that even mean? Does it got a knife? Does it got a gun? Is it gonna kill me? Is this great enemy gonna go after me right now? Well, relax. Relax. Just take a deep breath, my guy. Just take a deep breath. Because it's time for your boy to break this bitch down real quick like a brick for y'all. So first things first, what you must come to understand along this whole journey that we call life is that your ego is something that you have not formed yourself 9 times out of 10. If we're just being blunt, if we're just being honest, did you choose your name? Did you choose your ethnicity? Did you choose your height? Did you choose your weight? Did you choose the family that you're born in? Did you choose any of these things that we call your identity? Nope. They were all given to you. They were given to you for a reason, a real deeper reason, which we call your dharma. But as you were growing up, through your upbringing as a child, you had certain things conditioned into you. This is who you are. This is your name. This is the family that you're from. This is the language that you speak. All these different types of things started to form what we call your identity. Your identity is something that you operate with in this material world. The ego is the defense mechanism, the defense barrier of that identity. Anything that triggers or threatens that identity, the ego will attack. If you grew up with an identity that you're correlated to a specific religion, if I say something that pokes at that religion, you're gonna snap. It's a reflex, it's a reaction. It's an egotistical reaction. If you grew up with the identity of a specific sports team, you're like, that's my fucking team. I fuck with the Lakers. If I say something bad about the Lakers, you snap. That's the ego. The identity is you becoming a Laker fan. 2 different things. Pretend it's like this. We have a dragon and we got a treasure chest. The treasure chest, the dragon is defending in that castle. The castle is your mind, the dragon is your ego, and the identity is a treasure chest. If you try to go into that castle, consciously speaking, metaphorically speaking, metaphysically speaking, and try to actually get to that treasure, oh, that dragon's gonna fuck your shit up. That dragon's gonna do whatever it takes for you not to get to that treasure. Because that's its job. The ego's job is to protect the identity that you formed from your upbringing. But guess what? You didn't choose that identity, did you? Did you choose that identity? You did not. Your parents, your family, your friends, society as a whole told you who you are, rather than you going through that inner journey, the inner process of finding who you've always been. Come on, man, are you picking up what the fuck I'm putting down? That ego will start to perceive certain expectations to correlate with that identity. And when you do not operate in alignment with that ego, life starts to become your worst enemy. You don't let the magic of life come into play. So what do I mean by that? You have an identity of being someone who is very good at school. You've been trained through your upbringing to study hard so you can go to college to get this specific job. And then after that specific job, you get a family, you have a wife and kids, you get a house, you retire. That's the identity, that's the line, that's the arc, that's the chronological order that you've been conditioned to believe. So that's the path that the railroad has already set for you. You didn't choose it. You've just been trained to follow that. You didn't unconsciously or consciously choose that as a child. I want to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. Fuck no, you want to be an astronaut. You fucking want to be a basketball player. You didn't choose that path. But guess what? You adopted that identity. So as you go throughout life, you start to act and behave in certain ways unconsciously to fulfill that identity, to align with that identity. Anything that goes against the grain, you won't do, even though there might be good opportunities for you. You cannot fathom what it means to go across that bridge away from the identity. You're not willing to actually go into the unknown. You want to stay in that circle, stay in those little parameters, stay in that little perimeter that you've been programmed to believe. So when you go throughout life, if you get hit with a curveball, which you will, you start to have suffering. You start to have misery. You start to be sad. You start to be angry. You start to be mad about this phenomenal, temporal, temporary, impermanent world. Because you're so attached to certain outcomes, because your ego expects all the things to fall in line in order to make that identity into reality. Are you picking up what the fuck I'm putting down? This is some real deal game, real deal sauce. If you go about like that example of the person who's very good in school, he goes applies to these colleges and he gets rejected from each and every single one of them. It feels like he's dead. What am I? Who am I? Suffering, misery, sadness. And this doesn't just have to be for schooling, it could be anything. More and more of those ego expectations, the more you have of it, the more miserable you're going to be in life. I can assure you that. Because I've gone through it too. Every time that I try to overplan something and I try to manipulate the natural flow of life to my ego's and my identity's advantage, when things go one step wrong, I'm like, what the fuck do I do? And I start to question all of life. You've gone through that too. I know that for a fact because this is a natural phenomenon within the human experience. And I'm telling you right now, in order for you to truly be fulfilled in life, in order for you to truly be your highest self, you must learn to let go and just let God. Let me say that again. Let go and just let God work its magic. You see, life is like one of those arcade games where you go into a dark ass room and there's one tile that's lit up. You step on that one tile, another tile on the left lights up. You step on that tile, the tile on the right lights up. You have to go through life like that. That dark room is the unknown. And the unknown, even though it's scary, even though it's dark, even though you don't know what you might step into, has infinite potential. If you go with the known path, you remain stuck in a state where you never truly experience, you never truly discover who and what you are beyond all the names, beyond all the forms, beyond the brain and beyond the body. You will never discover your dharma, what you were really brought here to do. Because let's just be blunt, let's just be upfront. Out of the 4 million sperm cells in your daddy's nutsack, you're the one that made it through. You're the one that made it through. And you're telling me, oh, it was by a random chance. I'm sorry. The universe, God, don't make mistakes. This is a natural order of life. And the more you try to go against that natural order of life, thinking that you are God, even though you have the God within you, the more you start to live a life of suffering, live a life of misery. Instead of flowing with the stream, you're wasting all that energy going against it. Going against that stream just leads to suffering. Let that marinate in your motherfucking mind. Let that sink in your motherfucking psyche, my guy. Trying to go against the stream only leads to suffering. Mental suffering, physical suffering, spiritual suffering. those egotistical expectations put a lens on life that blocks out so much of the magic that you can't even imagine. Imagine you're just walking through life and you need prescription glasses, and you just basically never realize you need them. You never realize you need them. And you're like, I can't even, what fucking color is that? I'm fucking blind, basically. You finally put those contacts in, you finally put those glasses on. Wow, the world, how it's really always been, finally lights up. Those egotistical expectations, the identity shifts and alters your perspective on reality, because it's trying to grab and hold on to things, attach to things that are first of all temporary, that first of all are illusions, that first of all are impermanent. It's trying to attach onto anything that will actually help subjugate that identity that you're holding. This is called cognitive bias. If you believe in certain things, your mind is going to gravitate to the things that will actually support that claim, that will actually support your idea, your theory. But this is happening on a much deeper level, unconsciously, the stuff that we're talking about right now. You look at life in a cookie cutter format. It has to be like that. It has to do that. You try to play the role of know-it-all, because you think that I have my identity, everything else needs to revolve around that. But again, you didn't choose that identity. You didn't choose to act and behave in certain ways. You had that programmed by the external world. That's why this whole path of self-discovery, of self-realization, realizing who you are on a deeper essence, beyond the programming, beyond the matrix, beyond the Maya, beyond the illusion, it requires you to become stupid. It requires you to embrace the fool within you. And of course, if you know, you know. We already talked about this on a previous video, maybe a week ago on this channel, that is titled "The Path of Self-Realization Requires the Inverse Form of Education." Meaning, regular education means you stack up more info, stack up more info, stack up more info. This requires the inverse, the opposite. You lose more info, lose more info, lose more of the illusion to understand who you are. It's the opposite. It's the process of unlearning in order to find out who you always are. All those layers that you packaged onto yourself through your upbringing, you must rip them away, rip them away, rip them away. Because those layers create that, again, that ego that alters and filters your life in a way where you cannot fully experience it to the fullest extent. You will never be truly fulfilled because you don't know who you are. And those blockages that are put into your mind by those egotistical expectations completely act as barriers for the divine magic of life to enter. Trust me, this is something that you need to get into right now. If this is the only thing that you get from this channel, from any of my videos, any of my content, it's this. The egotistical expectations that you have are your soul's, your spirit's greatest enemy. Because they block off your connection to that. They block off your connection to life in general. It confines you and constricts your consciousness to one little corner. That's why this whole path of self-mastery is the essential aspect of life that you must be focusing in on as a man if you truly want to expand to the elevated states of your mind, body, and soul. If you truly want to experience who and what you are beyond what everybody tells you, beyond what you've been programmed to believe, you must be willing to attack that identity, deconstruct it, rip it out from the floor, take all the bolts off in order to actually build it up the way that the divine has already designed it to be. Not letting other people, not letting other things distort that natural state of existence that you're meant to operate at. And this is not an easy journey by any means. But if you truly want to ascend, this is what's going to be required. You might be wondering, okay, man, how the fuck do I do it? Well, of course, the stuff that we talk about here on this channel, on the main channel, on the private Patreon community, man, shout out to the fucking private Patreon community. Look, I want you to take a nice, good look in the mirror. Really study it. Really study the motherfucker that's staring right back at you in the mirror. That's staring right into your soul. Take a good look. Draw a picture if you need. Take a picture if you need. You're doing him, the guy that's looking at you in the mirror, not me, a huge motherfucking disfavor by not joining up into the private Patreon community. Not me, the guy in the mirror that's staring right back at you. Because within there, we are truly unpacking all the in-depth info about this whole esoteric science of self-mastery. We got exclusive videos breaking down ancient texts, breaking down occult wisdom, breaking down these psychological theories and ideas that allows you to truly understand, matter of fact, understand who and what you are beyond all the bullshit, beyond all the illusions, beyond the matrix, the Maya, all the nonsense, and allows you to build the bridge back to your true self. This is some real deal game, man. You ain't gonna find this stuff out on this channel, out on the main channel, matter of fact, anywhere else on YouTube. So if you want to tap in with that, if you're truly serious about this path of self-mastery and you're truly serious about unfolding your true highest potential, this is the place for you, my guy. I promise you that. Because within there, not only do we get the exclusive videos, but we also got full guides, in-depth occult lectures, and most importantly, if you tap into the Philosopher's Circle, aka the highest membership tier group within the private Patreon community, you get access to our private group chat where we host our bi-weekly mastermind live calls. Yes, sir, 2 live calls each and every single month, bi-weekly. Come on, man, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Where you hop on a call with me as well as a community of like-minded men who are also on the same path towards self-mastery. Who are also on the same journey, the same road to self-realization, realizing who and what they are beyond the programming, beyond the conditioning, and aligning with the divine plan that they were always brought here to accomplish. Their dharma, their duty, their purpose. Not the purpose that these motherfuckers on self-improvement, Andrew Tate, alpha pill shit tell you, oh man, you need to get rich and this and that. Cool, get rich. I'm not saying don't get rich, motherfucker. What I'm saying is, what is it that you were really brought here to do? Beyond survival, sex, and status. Beyond just subjugating that identity that your family, that society, that the illusionary world has fed you. What is that? In order for you to find that, you must embark on this path of self-mastery. So if you want to be surrounded with people also on that same journey, also who want to see you elevate, who want to see you motherfucking liberate, and will hold you accountable to this path, the Philosopher's Circle is the place for you, my guy. I can assure you that. I can assure you that. If you want more information about the private Patreon community, check out the links posted in the pinned comment of this video. Because not only will you find the link to the private Patreon community, but also see the other links that I provide for my other services, whether that be application forms for my personalized coaching program. If you're trying to work with me directly one-on-one so we can dissolve all those karmic ties, so we can dissolve all that programming, so we can dissolve all the degenerate and detox from all the degenerate nonsense that is holding you back from that dharma, holding you back from discovering your divine duty, whether that be mental blocks, whether that be physical blocks or spiritual blocks. If you really want me to help guide you along that path, tap in with the application forms. We'll see if your criteria qualifies for the coaching program. If you want to book a one-time one-on-one consultation with me, another link posted in the pinned comment of this video. We can discuss anything that you're dealing with, helping you redirect yourself back on the right track to your dharma. We got free weekly newsletters, free community Discord server, all that good stuff, again, posted in the pinned comment of this video. But like I was saying, the stuff that we talk about on this channel, on the main channel, especially in the private Patreon community, especially within my personalized coaching program, is all about learning What are those things that act as tethers, that act as dead weight, that is preventing you from actually being able to elevate? If you got this dead weight, you ain't gonna be able to elevate. And those egotistical expectations just cause that dead weight from the identity to be 2 times. Instead of it being 10 pounds, it's 20. Instead of being 30 pounds, it's 60. It amplifies it because it defends it. That's why when you, if you've ever had psychedelic experiences, you feel reborn. Because finally that identity, the ego, shuts the fuck up. Shuts the fuck up for you to finally be able to actually see who and what you are beyond the brain, beyond the body. If you've gotten deep into the motherfucking psychedelic rabbit hole, you know what I'm talking about. Comment down below. But again, that shit don't last. That shit don't last. It's a free trial for psychological freedom. It's a free trial for spiritual liberation. It don't last. What lasts? The path of self-mastery. It's gonna take a lot longer. When you take one of those psychedelics, you shoot up to that state of self-realization like that. But the long ascent of self-mastery, where you are climbing up that mountain, hiking up that mountain, where the top is self-realization, that lasts with you. So you can come down the mountain and bring that state of consciousness with you back into the material world. When you jump from 0 all the way to the top of the mountain, just like that, through psychedelics, guess what? You fall back down the mountain without holding anything, just like that. They can give you a little taste of what's going on, because now your ego finally shuts the fuck up. What if I told you you can do that yourself without any needed substances? What if I told you that? Those egotistical expectations, bro, are causing you all the suffering in your life, all the misery in your life, because you are attached to certain things. And guess what? When you're on your deathbed, you'll start to realize this, and you'll be like, man, I remember that one fucking weird guy on YouTube telling me this exact same shit now that I'm on my deathbed. I wish I listened to him. Again, forget the messenger. Think about the message I'm giving you. Forget about me. Think about the information that you're receiving right now. I want this stuff to really marinate in your mind. When you have the identity, you start to formulate in your own mind a certain path to be able to propagate that identity, to align with it. And then life just becomes constricted. You become tunnel visioned. You don't see what actually life provides you. You don't see the opportunities you can tap into. You don't see the true success that you can taste if you just flow with the current rather than trying to go against it, because you have built up this identity through your upbringing that is not allowing you to actually become who you are. There's something designed in you, a technology, a divine technology that's integrated into your DNA that will lead you to a life of true fulfillment, lead you to a life of spiritual liberation if you just followed it. Imagine we had you in a kitchen right now, and I'm like, bro, I got the fucking best meal in the world for you. Already set up. I got all the ingredients. I got all the instructions. All you need to do is follow the fucking instructions. And you say, no, man, I want to put this spice in. I want to put that spice in. I want to do this to it. I want to cook it like that. And you eat the food and you're like, fuck, what is this bullshit that I made? That's the identity. That's the ego. Those are expectations of you thinking that, hey, man, I know everything, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to just do it my way. You ruined that perfect meal. That perfect meal is the purpose God has brought you here to do. You already know what it is. It's just covered up by a bunch of junk right now. The sun beaming on me right now is always there, but some days it's cloudy. Some days it's rainy and you can't see it. Doesn't mean it's not there. That's your true self. It's always there. It's like the sun, but sometimes it's cloudy. Actually, 100% of the time, it's cloudy right now for you. If you're not on this path of self-mastery. Self-mastery is clearing the clouds, clearing the vision, so you can understand where that sun is pointing you towards. That's your North Star. That's your North Node when it comes to astrology. If you know, you know. That will point and direct you to the path that will lead you to their Dharma. Egos and expectations will only lead you to a life where you are only in this one box. And if anything goes against that one box, it's a threat to you. So you'll be sad, you'll be suffering, you'll be mad, you'll be angry at life. Why do you do this to me, God? Stop fighting against the flow of life. Start to learn to flow with it. And in order for you to flow with it, you gotta let go of the motherfucking life raft. You gotta let go of the motherfucking life vest, which is the identity and ego that you've been building up this entire time. It's not allowing you to flow. It's acting as an anchor. It's acting as dead weight that is preventing you from actually being able to elevate. God damn, man, so many bars in this video. Take notes, gentlemen. But seriously, all these things, bro, if you are the identity of some guy who is super into sports or super into bodybuilding, you get injured, and that injury obviously sucks, but that injury, if you had a broadened perspective, could be a time for you to open up and expand your mind to different things. But now it's like, oh bro, now I'm not a bodybuilder anymore. I was gonna go to a fucking the bodybuilding show and become a champion and this and that. Guess what? The divine already had a plan for you to not do that. No amount of shit you could have done could have prevented it. Yet your job is to be able to flow with the punches, flow with life, duck, roll, weave, and bob with life. Dance with it a little bit, man. Dance with it a little bit, my man. Do a little salsa with it, my man. Instead of being like, yo, no, I have to be like this robotic shit. Trust me, that's my natural state. Fucking logic, ego expectations, and robotic shit. But as I've been on this path of self-mastery, as I've been embracing the spiritual feminine flow of life, everything has been going my way without me even trying to make my own way. God damn. Let that marinate in your mind. Everything has been going my way because I'm not trying to make my own way. I don't have any expectations about how this video is going to go. I don't have any expectations about how the day is going to go. Of course you have plans and shit like that. I'm not saying just be like completely clueless, but I'm not attached to them. Because my identity is fluid. It's not constricted. It's not molded into one form that somebody else did for me. And of course, I had some help with this. 5 grams of mushroom, boom, broke that shit for me. It threw out that dragon analogy I was bringing up, and it went right in and got that treasure. I'm not telling you to go do that. What I'm saying is that's what happened to me. I'm telling you that there's much more sustainable ways to do that, where you're not fucking taking substances. But hey, if you do it, you do it, bro. Matter of fact, if you go about and do it, check out the full guide that we have on the Patreon. A full guide on how to take psychedelics for psychological and spiritual growth. Real deal guide. So you don't fry your shit up. But again, so much sauce, so much game, so much wisdom is over there to help you along this journey. Full guides, exclusive videos, live calls. That's what we're all here for. If you want to be surrounded with people on that same path where you don't feel like an outcast, where you don't feel like you're completely alone, this is what it's there for. But again, this is a path, this is an experience that you must have firsthand for yourself. I can tell you all the knowledge, but I can't give you the gnosis. What does that mean? I can give you the knowledge, aka logical shit, but I can't give you the gnosis, the divine wisdom that's only accessed from within, that's only accessed from first-hand experience. You must go along this own path yourself, of breaking free from those egotistical expectations that constrain life, that constrain your development, that constrain your elevation and your evolution towards who you've always meant to be. You hit the pause button on your progress in all aspects of life. It might look like you're succeeding on the external, but internally you're frozen. because you're not allowing the flow of life to run through you. You tried this robotic shit of trying to be God. That this is what I am, this is what I do. What if that's not what you're supposed to do? What if you have to let go and be a little ignorant, become the fool, in order to realize who and what you truly are? Again, we talked about this earlier. There's a whole concept behind this because we just rebranded the main channel, Fulati Fitness, to The Philosopher. The Philosopher, we have a full video about that. Matter of fact, the archetype of the fool on the private Patreon community went much more in depth, but the fool and the tarot card. If you've seen the new channel rebrand, revamped, and reborn, the main channel, The Philosopher, you'll see the symbolism of a lot of the art I'm using. It's the tarot card of the fool. The fool is willing to let go of those egotistical expectations, and he's pictured falling off a cliff into the unknown. He has blind faith within the divinity of himself to guide him to glory. Carl Jung has this great quote that the fool is the forerunner to the sage. In order for you to be self-realized like these sages, you first must be the fool. You first must let go of those egotistical expectations and let God guide you back to glory. If you want a life of true fulfillment, you got to start off with being a fool first. Even though you might get mocked, even though you might look like you're crazy, if you are done with the suffering that is coming from all those egotistical expectations and trying to live a life and manufacture a life that will never truly be permanent in a state to where your identity is met, you must be willing to jump off the cliff. Let that marinate in your mind. All those egotistical expectations that are defending your identity are the greatest enemy to your soul. You never allow your soul, the spirit, the life force of life immersed through your being. You're choking, you're suffocating your own spiritual development. Unconsciously. You're not doing it on purpose, but hopefully this video made you wake up to that. Wake up and realize, wake up and smell the motherfucking coffee, my guy. And I want this to really sink in your psyche. Because the people that are watching this channel in specific, What the Fulati, the second channel, we're out here in the field, in the flesh, no cuts, no edits, just straight up spitting game off the dome. You dig what I'm saying? You guys are more psychologically and spiritually matured and advanced than the masses. Am I saying that you're better than anyone? Absolutely not. This is not a new age spiritual channel where I'm going to say you're a chosen one because you listen to me. Fuck no. But you guys are more psychologically advanced, maybe due to past lives, maybe due to the karmas that you've been dissolving in this incarnation. Regardless of the fact, you can understand and grasp these higher level concepts that most people can't. You show this video to a regular person, like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? They can't even listen to a video for 33 minutes long. You know? You've been gifted with this shit. You cannot waste these skills and these talents on nonsense, on living a life that is not in alignment to your true self because the ego's expectations are calling all the shots. You have to use this information and turn this knowledge into gnosis through first-hand experience by actually stepping foot on this path of self-mastery. Going beyond the barriers that are ingrained into your mind and getting more aligned back with the divine. That's what you're really brought here to do, bro. That's what's gonna really give you fulfillment, bro. With no expectations. You're just doing it for the love of the game rather than outcomes. Because now you have let go of outcomes and understanding that life is impermanent. Life is temporary. I'm here for a bigger reason. And if I just let go and let God work its magic, I'm gonna be flowing with life to that specific reason. So if you listen to all this stuff, you're like, man, some good shit, and you don't do any action, in the self-help community, they call this mental masturbation, but I'm coining this term spiritual masturbation. You're a spiritual masturbator. You're sitting there spiritually masturbating. Your soul is getting enticed because it's hearing the truth, yet you're not acting upon it. You're not actually making it manifest into the material world. It doesn't matter how much information you got up in here if it's not actually being expressed out in here. So let that marinate in your mind. Go beyond those egotistical expectations by learning to detach. Detach from them, dissolve the karmas, and soon enough, you'll discover your dharma. God damn, man. Let's end it off right there. It's been your boy out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping y'all that game so you guys can make these games. I'm out of here. Peace.